Hello, fellow travelers. I want to take you to one of my favorite places in the entire world. It's a city where every street tells a story. Every corner tells a story. Every stone tells a story. We are going to Rome, the eternal city. Imagine walking through history itself. Stand where gladiators once fought. Taste the most delicious gelato. This is the magic of Rome, a living museum full of life and beauty. Be ready to be breathtaken by ancient ruins. Be charmed by lively neighborhoods. Rome captures your heart and never lets go. Rome touches all your senses. Hear church bells ringing in the distance. Smell fresh espresso and baking pastries in the morning. Past and present dance together. Ancient monuments stand proudly. Stylish boutiques, bustling cafes. Every day brings a new discovery. This guide is your invitation to explore Rome's best. We're going on an adventure together. I've gathered 10 experiences you can't miss. Walk through the Colosseum. Explore the Roman Forum. Toss a coin into the Trevi Fountain. Wander charming neighborhoods. Taste authentic pasta. Learn about local life. World-famous landmarks and hidden gems. Fall in love with Rome. Get comfortable shoes ready. Bring your appetite. Open your heart to wonder. Rome waits with open arms. History lovers, this city is for you. Foodies, this city is for you. Wanderers who love to get lost, this city is for you. We'll uncover the secrets and create lifelong memories. Are you ready for your Roman holiday? Let's dive into the heart of Italy. The journey starts now. It's going to be amazing. Before we jump into our top 10 adventures, let's talk about how to prepare for your trip. A little bit of planning can make your Roman holiday so much more enjoyable. First, think about the best time to visit. Spring, autumn. The weather is pleasant and comfortable for walking. The city is not as crowded as it is during the summer months. However, Rome is beautiful all year round. Even a winter visit has its own special charm, with fewer tourists and a cozy atmosphere. No matter when you decide to go, Rome's magic will be there to greet you and make you feel welcome. Next, let's discuss what to pack. The most important item you can bring is a pair of very comfortable walking shoes. You will be doing a lot of walking in Rome, as the best way to see the city is on foot. The streets are often made of cobblestones, which can be tough on your feet if you don't have the right footwear. Also, pack layers of clothing. The weather can change throughout the day, so it's great to have a light jacket, a sweater you can easily take off or put on, and don't forget a reusable water bottle. Rome has many public fountains, called Nasoni, with fresh, cold, and safe drinking water. Learning a few basic Italian phrases will also go a long way. While many people in Rome speak English, especially in tourist areas, locals always appreciate it when you try to speak their language. Ciao for hello or goodbye. Per favore for please. Grazie for thank you. It shows respect for the culture and can make your interactions feel more personal and friendly. Don't worry about making mistakes. The effort is what truly counts. Finally, embrace the Roman way of life. Things move at a different pace here. Allow yourself to slow down and savor each moment. Sit at an outdoor cafe for an hour with a cappuccino and just watch the world go by. Don't try to rush from one famous site to the next. Some of the best memories are made when you get a little lost and discover a hidden courtyard, family-run trattoria. Be open to surprises and let the city guide you. This mindset will help you fully immerse yourself in the culture and enjoy the relaxed, joyful spirit of La Dolce Vita, the sweet life. Rome is not just a checklist, it's a feeling. Our first adventure takes us to the most iconic symbol of Rome, the Colosseum. You have seen it in pictures, you have watched it in movies, but nothing prepares you for seeing it in person. Standing before this ancient amphitheater feels like traveling back in time nearly 2,000 years. The sheer size of the structure is breathtaking, a true masterpiece of Roman engineering. As you walk towards it, you can almost hear the echoes of the past, the roar of the crowds, and the clash of gladiator swords. This was the heart of entertainment in ancient Rome, a place where emperors and common people gathered to witness spectacular and often brutal games. Inside, the scale of the arena opens up before you. You can see the different levels where people sat, divided by their social class. The emperor and senators had the best seats, of course, right near the action. There were not just gladiator fights, but also wild animal hunts, and even mock sea battles, for which the entire arena was flooded with water. It is a place filled with intense history, a stage for both glory and tragedy that held up to 80,000 people. A great practical tip for visiting the Colosseum is to buy your tickets online in advance. This is so important. The lines to buy tickets on the day can be incredibly long, especially during peak season. Purchasing them beforehand allows you to choose a specific entry time and walk straight past the long queues, saving you hours of waiting under the hot Roman sun. Your ticket for the Colosseum also includes entry to the Roman Forum and Palatine Hill. I recommend dedicating at least half a day to fully immerse yourself in this ancient world without feeling rushed. For an even richer experience, consider joining a guided tour. A knowledgeable guide can bring the history of the Colosseum to life in a way that a simple walkthrough cannot. They will share fascinating stories about the gladiators, the emperors, and the daily life connected to this monumental structure. They can point out details you might otherwise miss, like the trapdoors in the arena floor or the inscriptions carved into the stone. Hearing these tales while standing in the very place they happened is an unforgettable experience. It transforms the ruins from a collection of old stones into a living, breathing story of human history, ambition, and drama. Right next to the Colosseum lies another treasure of ancient Rome, the Roman Forum. This sprawling area of ruins was once the bustling center of Roman public life. It was the city's main marketplace, the center of government, and the heart of its social world. As you walk along the Via Sacra, try to picture this place in its prime. Imagine senators in their togas debating politics in the Curia, merchants selling their goods in the bustling markets, and citizens gathering at the temples to worship their gods. It was here that major decisions were made, triumphs were celebrated, and the fate of the empire was decided. It's a walk through history itself. The Roman Forum is vast, and it can feel a little overwhelming at first. It helps to have a map or a good guidebook. Some of the most important structures to find are the Temple of Saturn, with its iconic remaining columns, and the Arch of Titus, which commemorates a Roman military victory. You can also see the House of the Vestal Virgins, where the priestesses who tended Rome's sacred flame once lived. Each ruin has a story, a piece of the puzzle that made up this incredible ancient city. Take your time to wander, to sit on an ancient stone, and to simply absorb the atmosphere of this historic ground. Just above the Roman Forum is Palatine Hill, one of the 7 hills of Rome. According to legend, this is where the city was founded by Romulus and Remus. Later, it became the most exclusive neighborhood in ancient Rome, home to emperors and the wealthy elite. The views from the top of the hill are absolutely stunning. You get a fantastic panoramic perspective of the Roman Forum below and a great view of the Colosseum in the distance. It's a much quieter and more peaceful area than the Forum, with lovely gardens and shady pine trees. It is the perfect place to take a break, reflect on what you've seen, and capture some beautiful photographs. My practical tip for exploring the Roman Forum and Palatine Hill is to start your visit at the Palatine Hill entrance. The queue here is usually much shorter than the one near the Colosseum. From the top, you can enjoy the amazing views first, and then make your way down into the Forum. Remember to wear your comfortable shoes, as you will be walking on uneven ground and ancient stone paths. Also, bring water and a hat, especially if you are visiting in the summer, as there is not much shade among the ruins. Exploring this area is a true journey back in time, connecting you directly to the foundations of Western civilization. Our next adventure takes us to the smallest independent state in the world, Vatican City. It is a place of immense spiritual significance and home to some of the greatest art ever created. Our first stop here is the Vatican Museums. This is not just one museum, but a massive complex of galleries filled with treasures collected by popes over many centuries. Walking through these halls is like stepping into a storybook of human creativity. You will see ancient Roman sculptures, Egyptian artifacts, intricate tapestries, Renaissance masterpieces. The sheer volume of art is almost overwhelming, so it is a good idea to have a plan for what you most want to see before you arrive. The Raphael rooms, for example, are 4 rooms painted by the great Renaissance artist Raphael. Each wall is covered in breathtaking frescoes that tell stories of philosophy, theology, and history. The Gallery of Maps is another highlight that always amazes me. It is a long hallway lined with 40 painted maps of Italy, created in the 16th century. The ceiling above is a dazzling display of gold and intricate paintings. Every corner you turn in the Vatican Museums reveals another masterpiece, another piece of history, waiting to be discovered and admired. Of course, the ultimate destination within the Vatican Museums is the world-famous Sistine Chapel. No matter how many pictures you have seen, nothing can prepare you for the feeling of standing in this sacred space. You walk into a quiet, high-ceilinged room, and your eyes are immediately drawn upward. Michelangelo's incredible frescoes cover every inch of the ceiling and the altar wall. The famous scene of the creation of Adam is right there above you, a powerful and iconic image. The level of detail and emotion in his work is simply astounding. It is a place that commands silence and reverence as you contemplate the genius and dedication it took to create such a masterpiece. A crucial tip for your visit is to remember that there is a strict dress code for entering Vatican City's holy sites, including the Sistine Chapel. You must cover your shoulders. You must cover your knees. This means no tank tops, shorts, or short skirts. It is a sign of respect, and you will be denied entry if you are not dressed appropriately. Also, photography is strictly forbidden inside the Sistine Chapel to protect the delicate frescoes. So, put your camera away and just be present in the moment. Allow yourself to fully absorb the beauty and spiritual energy of this incredible place. It is an experience that will stay with you forever. After being mesmerized by the art of the Vatican Museums, our journey continues to the magnificent St. Peter's Basilica. As you step out into St. Peter's Square, the sheer scale of the basilica and the surrounding colonnades designed by Bernini will leave you in awe. The square itself is a masterpiece, designed to feel like two embracing arms welcoming pilgrims from all over the world. Walking towards the basilica, you feel a sense of anticipation and wonder. This is the largest church in the world and one of the holiest sites in Christianity. Its grandeur is meant to inspire, and it truly succeeds in making you feel part of something much larger than yourself. Entering St. Peter's Basilica is an experience that touches your soul, regardless of your personal beliefs. The interior is vast, opulent, and breathtakingly beautiful. Sunlight streams through the high windows, illuminating the marble, gold, and intricate mosaics that adorn every surface. One of the first things you will see on your right is Michelangelo's Pietà, a stunningly beautiful and emotional sculpture of Mary holding the body of Christ. It is protected by glass, but its power and grace are undeniable. As you walk toward the center, you will stand under the magnificent dome, also designed by Michelangelo, which soars high above the main altar. It is a true marvel of architecture. For an unforgettable view, you can climb to the top of St. Peter's Dome. This is an adventure in itself. You have the option to take an elevator part of the way, but there are still over 300 steps to climb in a narrow, winding staircase that follows the curve of the dome. It is a bit of a workout, but the reward is absolutely worth it. Once you reach the top, you are treated to an incredible 360-degree panoramic view of Vatican City and all of Rome. You can see St. Peter's Square directly below, the Vatican Gardens, and the entire cityscape stretching out to the horizon. It is a perspective that will take your breath away. A practical piece of advice is that entry into St. Peter's Basilica is free, but the security lines can be very long. The dress code we talked about for the Sistine Chapel also applies here, so make sure your shoulders and knees are covered. To avoid the biggest crowds, try to visit early in the morning on a weekday. Also, be aware that the Basilica is an active church, and it may be closed to the public for papal ceremonies or other events, so it is always a good idea to check the schedule online before you go. This sacred and stunning place is a must-see, offering a profound sense of peace and wonder. From the holy grandeur of the Vatican, our Roman adventure now takes us to a place of pure romance and legend. We are heading to the Trevi Fountain, or Fontana di Trevi. You will likely hear the sound of its rushing water before you even see it. As you turn a corner in a maze of narrow cobblestone streets, it suddenly appears before you, a spectacular vision of white marble and sparkling blue water. It is the largest Baroque fountain in the city, and certainly the most famous in the world. The fountain takes up almost the entire side of a palace, making it feel like a grand outdoor theater stage where water is the main star of the show. The central figure of the fountain is Oceanus, the god of the sea, who rides a shell-shaped chariot pulled by two seahorses. One horse is calm and obedient, while the other is wild and restless, representing the changing moods of the ocean. The detail in the sculpture is absolutely incredible, with every muscle and flowing piece of stone carved to perfection. The water cascades over the rocks and into the large pool below, creating a beautiful and constant symphony of sound. It is a place that feels alive, full of energy and motion. Of course, no visit to the Trevi Fountain is complete without taking part in its most famous tradition. The legend says that if you toss a coin into the fountain, you are guaranteed to return to Rome one day. To do it correctly, you must stand with your back to the fountain and throw the coin with your right hand over your left shoulder. Every day, thousands of visitors participate in this hopeful ritual, their coins joining a fortune at the bottom of the pool. It's a fun and magical moment that connects you to generations of travelers who have stood in the exact same spot, making the very same wish to come back to the eternal city. My practical tip for the Trevi Fountain is to visit it at 2 different times of the day if you can. During the daytime, you can appreciate all the fine details of the sculptures in the bright sunlight. However, visiting late at night or very early in the morning is a completely different and truly magical experience. The crowds are much smaller, and the fountain is beautifully illuminated by lights, creating a romantic and peaceful atmosphere. It allows you to enjoy the masterpiece without the hustle and bustle. Be mindful of your belongings in crowded areas, and just soak in the incredible sight of this iconic Roman landmark. Just a short walk from the Trevi Fountain, we find another of Rome's most famous and beloved landmarks, the Spanish Steps. This beautiful staircase, known as the Scalinata di Trinità dei Monti in Italian, connects the Piazza di Spagna at its base with the Trinità dei Monti Church at the top. The 135 steps are wide and elegant, gracefully curving as they climb the hill. In the springtime, they are decorated with stunning pink and purple azaleas, making the scene even more picturesque and vibrant. For centuries, this has been a popular gathering place for Romans and visitors alike, a perfect spot to sit, relax, and watch the world go by in one of Rome's most fashionable neighborhoods. The Spanish Steps are more than just a way to get from a lower piazza to an upper one. They are a destination in themselves. At the bottom of the steps, you will find the charming Fontana della Barcaccia, or the Fountain of the Ugly Boat. This unique fountain was designed by Pietro Bernini, the father of the more famous Gian Lorenzo Bernini. It is shaped like a sinking boat and is said to be inspired by a flood that once carried a boat all the way to this spot. The area is surrounded by high-end designer shops and historic tea rooms, making it a hub of style and sophistication. Climbing to the top of the Spanish Steps is well worth the effort, and it's not a difficult climb at all. Each level offers a slightly different and more expansive view of the bustling Piazza di Spagna below. When you reach the very top, you are rewarded with a wonderful panoramic view of the Roman rooftops. It is a fantastic spot for taking photos, especially as the sun begins to set and the city is bathed in a warm, golden light. A very important tip for visiting the Spanish Steps is that as of a few years ago, it is now forbidden to sit on the steps. This rule was put in place to protect the historic monument from damage and to keep it clean for everyone to enjoy. Police officers are usually present to ensure that people follow the rule, so be sure to respect it. You can still climb them, pause to take pictures, and enjoy the view from the top and bottom. The area is always full of life, and simply standing there, admiring the architecture and the lively atmosphere, is a classic Roman experience that you will not want to miss on your trip. Our next stop is one of my absolute favorite places in all of Rome, the magnificent Pantheon. As you approach it through the lively Piazza della Rotonda, its ancient presence feels both powerful and mysterious. This incredible building has stood for nearly 2,000 years surviving wars, fires, and the fall of empires. It started as a temple for all the Roman gods and was later converted into a Christian church, which is a key reason why it is so perfectly preserved today. The front of the Pantheon, with its massive granite columns and triangular pediment, looks like a classic Greek temple. But the real magic, the true architectural marvel, is waiting for you inside this historic structure. Walking through the giant bronze doors and stepping inside is a moment that will truly take your breath away. You are immediately enveloped by a vast, circular space that feels both grand and surprisingly intimate. Your eyes are instantly drawn upward to the incredible coffered dome, which was the largest dome in the world for over 1,000 years. At its very center is a large circular opening called the oculus. This is the only source of natural light in the entire building. It is a direct connection to the sky above, a window to the heavens. Standing directly beneath it, you can feel the sun on your face, or, if you're lucky, see rain falling into the center of the room. The engineering of the Pantheon is simply genius. The dome was constructed using concrete, a Roman invention, and it gets progressively lighter and thinner as it rises toward the oculus. This clever design has allowed it to stand strong for centuries. As you explore the interior, you will also find the tombs of several important figures, including the great Renaissance painter Raphael and 2 Italian kings. A great practical tip for visiting the Pantheon is that entry is no longer free for tourists. As of 2023, there is a small entrance fee, so be prepared for that. The lines can get long, but they usually move quite quickly. Like other churches in Rome, it is important to be respectful. Keep your voice down and ensure your shoulders are covered. I highly recommend visiting in the middle of the day when a strong beam of sunlight shines through the oculus, moving across the floor like a giant celestial spotlight. It is a stunning effect that truly highlights the architectural brilliance of this ancient wonder, connecting you to both the earth and the sky. Just a short and pleasant walk from the Pantheon, we arrive at another of Rome's most beautiful and famous public spaces, Piazza Navona. This large, elegant square has a unique, long, oval shape. This is because it was built on the site of an ancient Roman stadium, the Stadium of Domitian, where chariot races and athletic contests were once held. Today, the stadium is gone, but its shape remains, creating a wonderful open space filled with stunning Baroque architecture, lively cafes, talented street artists. The atmosphere here is always vibrant and cheerful. It is a perfect place to take a leisurely stroll, enjoy a gelato, and soak up the lively Roman street life. The stars of Piazza Navona are its 3 magnificent fountains. The most famous and dramatic one is in the center. Bernini's Fontana dei Quattro Fiumi, or the Fountain of the 4 Rivers. The Nile, the Ganges, the Danube, the Rio de la Plata. Each river god is sculpted with incredible detail and emotion, surrounded by animals and plants from their respective regions. Above them all rises an ancient Egyptian obelisk, making the fountain an even more impressive and towering work of art. At either end of the piazza, you will find 2 other beautiful fountains. At the southern end is the Fontana del Moro, and at the northern end is the Fountain of Neptune. While not as famous as Bernini's central creation, they are both lovely works of art that add to the square's overall charm and elegance. The entire piazza is a celebration of water and art, a grand outdoor gallery that you can enjoy for free at any time of day. My tip for enjoying Piazza Navona is to visit both during the day and again at night. In the daylight, you can admire the details of the sculptures and watch the artists at work. The square is bustling with energy and activity. At night, the fountains are beautifully illuminated, and the atmosphere becomes more romantic and serene. The restaurants and cafes that line the square set up tables for outdoor dining, creating a magical ambiance. While the restaurants directly on the piazza can be a bit expensive, grabbing a gelato from a nearby shop and finding a bench to sit on is a perfect and affordable way to experience the magic of Piazza Navona after dark. Now, it is time for one of my favorite parts of any trip to Rome: the food. Roman cuisine is simple, delicious, and made with incredible passion. It is all about using fresh, high-quality ingredients to create dishes that have been perfected over generations. Here, the flavors are authentic and unforgettable. Your culinary adventure can start with a simple slice of pizza al taglio, or pizza by the cut. You just point to what you want, and they will cut a piece for you and sell it by weight. It is the perfect, quick, and delicious Roman lunch. Of course, you cannot come to Rome without eating pasta. The first is carbonara, a creamy sauce made with eggs, hard cheese like pecorino romano, cured pork, and black pepper. Another is cacio e pepe, a simple yet amazing dish of pasta with cheese and black pepper. Then there is amatriciana, a rich tomato sauce with cured pork cheek. And gricia, which is like a white version of amatriciana. Each one is a taste of Roman history. Look for a trattoria, a family-run restaurant, for the most authentic and heartwarming meal. These are the places where locals eat, and the food is always made with love. For a classic appetizer, try the supplì. These are fried rice balls, usually filled with mozzarella and tomato sauce. When you break one open, the melted cheese stretches out, which is why they are sometimes called supplì al telefono. Another must-try is the artichoke, especially if you are visiting in the spring. You can find them prepared alla romana, stuffed with herbs and braised, or alla giudia, deep-fried until crispy, a specialty of the Jewish ghetto. And what about dessert? No day in Rome is complete without at least one scoop of gelato. Real, artisanal gelato is made with fresh ingredients and is less airy than ice cream, giving it a richer flavor and denser texture. Look for shops where the gelato is not piled high in bright, unnatural colors. The best gelato is often stored in covered metal containers. And do not forget to start your day like a Roman, with a cappuccino and a cornetto, which is Italy's version of a croissant. Standing at the counter of a local bar, sipping your coffee, is a simple, perfect Roman ritual you will quickly come to love. To truly experience Roman food and culture, you need to explore its neighborhoods. Our first stop is Trastevere, which means across the Tiber River. This charming area feels like a small village within the big city. Its narrow, ivy-covered cobblestone streets are perfect for getting lost. During the day, it is a quiet and picturesque place to wander. You will find artisan shops, small boutiques, beautiful, sun-drenched piazzas. It is the kind of place where you will see laundry hanging from windows and locals chatting on their doorsteps. As the sun sets, Trastevere transforms. The neighborhood comes alive with energy as people flock to its countless trattorias, pizzerias, bars. The streets fill with the sound of music, laughter, and conversation. The atmosphere is lively and magical, with fairy lights twinkling above outdoor tables. This is one of the best places in Rome to have dinner. Finding a table in a cozy piazza and enjoying a wonderful meal under the stars is a quintessential Roman experience. It is the perfect way to spend an evening soaking in the beautiful atmosphere of La Dolce Vita. For an even more authentic and less touristy food experience, we head to the neighborhood of Testaccio. This area is considered by many to be the true heart of Roman cuisine. It was once the city's slaughterhouse district, and because of this history, it is famous for traditional dishes that use every part of the animal. Today, Testaccio is a vibrant, working-class neighborhood with a fantastic food scene. The main attraction here is the Testaccio Market, a modern covered market. You can find amazing street food stalls, vendors selling fresh produce, meat, and cheese. It is a fantastic place to have lunch and taste a variety of local specialties. Testaccio is a place for foodies who want to get off the beaten path. It feels incredibly genuine and local. Here, you will find some of the best and most historic trattorias in the city, serving classic Roman food without any fuss. The neighborhood is also home to Monte Testaccio, a man-made hill composed entirely of broken ancient Roman pottery. Wandering through Testaccio gives you a glimpse into everyday Roman life, away from the major tourist crowds. It is a place where food is not just a meal. It is a central part of the culture and community. Exploring this neighborhood is a delicious and rewarding adventure for any traveler. While the famous landmarks of Rome are absolutely breathtaking, some of the city's most magical moments happen when you step off the well-trodden path. Let's explore some of Rome's hidden gems, places where you can find a bit of peace and discover a different side of the city. Our first secret spot is the Quartiere Copte. This small, fantastical neighborhood feels like stepping into a fairy tale. Another beautiful and often overlooked church is the Basilica di San Clemente al Laterano. This basilica is a real-life layer cake of history. The main church you enter is from the 12th century. Beneath it is a 4th century basilica. Go down even further, and you reach rooms of a 1st century Roman building, including a temple dedicated to the Persian god Mithras. For a different kind of hidden treasure, visit Palazzo Doria Pamphilj, a privately owned art gallery. Inside are masterpieces by Raphael, Titian, Caravaggio. It's much less crowded than the Vatican Museums, so you can admire the art in a more intimate, peaceful setting. Finally, a truly unique and slightly macabre sight is the Capuchin Crypt. The bones are arranged artistically into intricate decorations. It's a powerful, solemn reminder of life's temporary nature. To truly feel the spirit of Rome, it is wonderful to experience the city as the locals do. This means taking time for simple pleasures, like a relaxing walk in a beautiful park. The Villa Borghese Gardens are the perfect escape from the hustle and bustle of the city center. Another quintessential local experience is visiting an outdoor market. Another fantastic one is the market at Campo dei Fiori. It is a feast for the senses and a wonderful place to see daily Roman life in action. Now for one of my favorite secrets in all of Rome, the Aventine keyhole. If you look through the keyhole of this door, you will be treated to a perfectly framed, breathtaking view. The magnificent dome of St. Peter's Basilica, perfectly aligned in the distance. Finally, embrace the Roman tradition of the passeggiata. This is the leisurely evening stroll that Italians love to take. It is a time to slow down, to people watch, and to soak in the atmosphere as the city transitions from day to night. And so, our journey through the 10 unmissable adventures in Rome comes to a close. We have walked in the footsteps of gladiators and emperors at the Colosseum and Roman Forum. We have stood in awe before the artistic genius of Michelangelo in the Sistine Chapel and St. Peter's Basilica. We made a wish for our return at the magnificent Trevi Fountain and looked up at the heavens through the oculus of the Pantheon. From the grandest monuments to the most intimate neighborhood trattorias, we have seen how Rome engages every single one of your senses. This is a city that truly lives up to its name, the Eternal City, because the memories you make here feel timeless. But this list is just the beginning of your personal Roman story. The true magic of Rome is found not just in checking off a list of famous sites, but in the moments in between. It is in the taste of your first perfect cacio e pepe, the sound of church bells on a quiet morning, and the friendly smile from a shopkeeper. It is in the joy of getting wonderfully lost in the ivy-covered alleys of Trastevere and discovering a hidden piazza that is not in any guidebook. Rome invites you to wander without a plan, to follow your curiosity, and to let the city reveal its secrets to you, one cobblestone street at a time. I hope this guide has filled you with excitement and inspired you to pack your bags for your own Roman holiday. This is a city that welcomes everyone with open arms, ready to share its incredible history, its delicious flavors, and its vibrant energy. Whether you have a few days or a few weeks, you will leave with a piece of Rome in your heart. And if you remember to toss that coin into the Trevi Fountain, you know that this is not goodbye, but simply arrivederci, until we meet again. Embrace the chaos, savor the beauty, and walk through history with an open heart. Your unforgettable Roman adventure is out there, waiting for you to begin. Thank you for traveling with me, and I wish you the most wonderful time exploring the one and only magnificent city of Rome. Ciao.